and I don't know what's going on, but I haven't been told, exactly what's going on here. And so I actually knew some of the people that had investigated there before, and I asked them, and they're like, it's poltergeist activity, that's it. I mean, there's nothing that can really be done because it's stemming off of the people living there. Negative thought forms, same thing. It's all, because of the people living there. So unless they resolve those issues, that's just not gonna resolve itself. They're always gonna have issues there.
Right. Okay, so I have another question from Corey. Corey is the question man.
Yeah, we should have him on camera.
I think he needs to come on. He needs to be on every single Innercircle show because he has questions. So let's see. It says, have you done any experimentation with Faraday cages for EVP? And if so, or, if you have any interesting results.
Sorry, this is going to be brief, but no. We are actually starting out, though, with it. Mike Murray, who's on our team that builds equipment, he is building that, and it's to come soon.
Mike Murray is awesome. He's awesome.
He's a really great guy. He and I were talking the other night, and we're lucky to have him. He's a really, really nice person.
Okay, and then another question I have, how do you feel about, like, investigators being on TV? Do you feel that once they get on there that it kind of, remember how Ghosters before, when they first started out, they were just, just pretty raw, and they were doing what we do, and then over so many years, they kind of just didn't catch anybody's eye anymore. More of the people that didn't really know about the paranormal and stuff, and supposedly faked evidence and stuff. How do you feel about investigators now going on to different shows like My Ghost Story and stuff like that?
Well, I have to say that My Ghost Story, these shows that they're trying to come up with, it's going to be tough because there are so many. I think the market is pretty saturated, although trying to find their own little niche. My Ghost Story basically wants and has told us we want it scary. So when we did somebody on our team was on the show, and they used my evidence and had her on camera and asked her, it was about the Queen Mary. Every single question came back to, well, do you think that was Jackie? What do you think about Jackie? Everything was about Jackie. And it's like, not everything on the damn ship is about Jackie. They wanted it to be scary. And, finally we were like, okay, fine, yeah, okay, yeah, it could be Jackie. No.
It seems like everybody with a squeaky shoe is on My Ghost Story.
Yeah, well, they're emailing everybody, and if you're pretty new to investigating and you get that email, you're like, oh my gosh, they want me, when in fact they've sent out thousands of emails to people. I was actually asked to go on for another location because I've been there over the years so many times. And I can't find the time to record a 5-minute video, and I haven't found the time to sit down and do that, obviously, because I have a lot of cats around me whenever I'm on camera.
Well, it probably.
But as far as the investigators, I mean, if they're able to do it, fine. Unfortunately, when you're under a production company, they tell you how high to jump. And if you want to keep your job, or if you want to, keep whatever benefits you have, it's got to sizzle. They want sensationalism.
Well, it probably speaks to your professionalism that you don't have time to do a 5-minute sizzle reel, because you're actually out investigating and actually doing things in the paranormal. Because, I mean, Dawn could tell you there's people that one one day you see them and all they bring to an investigation is the ghost radar in their phone and the ghost app with not even a flashlight, and then the next time you see them, they're on My Ghost Story, or they're handing out paranormal awards at events, and they're speaking as if they're paranormal celebrities. How do you feel about you've been seeing people like around for 10 years actually doing investigations in the field, and then you see these other people that are suddenly paranormal celebrities just out of the blue? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, it's the power in the people. If you want to believe they're a celebrity, then they're a celebrity. Dawn said before, there aren't that many people. It's true. People that have actually done very cool things in the paranormal. People that I look up to, and I know this might cause some controversy, but Debbie and Mark Constantino out of Nevada, they work with the Ghost Adventures crew, and I've brought them up a lot because I've investigated with them a lot. And Debbie and I have had a heart-to-heart talk about spirits. She's sensitive, can feel and hear them, and then when she records, she gets amazing evidence. You know that it's real because you were sitting right there with her. And when you're getting a spirit screaming through the recorder, it just really hits you. They're top notch. She and I talked for a while, and we were both crying at the end because we were talking about how much people disrespect the spirits, and they want their voices to be heard, and they don't want to be forgotten, or they want to relay a message. So yeah, I would say there might be about a dozen people that really truly have that title of para-celebrity. The rest of them, doing these conventions and stuff, lately I've seen them and go, who are these people?
Exactly, yeah.
But they might be big locally too. When places ask us to come and present or whatever, some people might not know who we are, and that's okay. That's fine. But more power to them if they're able to get it, but it's not going to be forever. And just remember, when you're seeing over people to get to the top, you have to see those same people when you come back down.
Right.
Yep. So I have two questions. One's from Frank, and I will ask you that after. And
hello, Frank.
Well, maybe I'll just ask you it now. It says, what are your thoughts on fraudulent psychics in our paranormal community that ride the coattails of a famed psychic for personal financial gain and fame? Should they be exposed?
Really?
He wants to know.
Frank has his poking stick out.
They, like all the fighting in the paranormal, give fake psychics, give other psychics, legit psychics, a bad name. I have personally worked with 3 or 4 that are psychics and or mediums that have been pretty right on. And you can tell, you test them. I don't go for the reading stuff. And, you can read people and get a gut feeling about them. But, when you tell me about a very unique family's person's name, about an event that happened that nobody outside my family knows, I know you're legit. And so, I think they need to be tested more. Not in a sense of go to this place and be tested. I think people just need to not put all their faith into somebody who gets maybe half of stuff right. It's unfortunate that there are more naive people that get taken. And I think that's the whole thing.
Okay. And the second part of that question would be, how do you feel about, people throwing out the whole paranormal unity?
Like religion, the ones who preach it the most, are the ones that are guilty the most.
Exactly.
You know, the people that constantly, well, like say in politics or religion, you know, they're talking about family, or they're talking about how you need to have better character or this or that, and then, you know, they've got 15 scandals already against them. It's like, really? Those are always the people that you know, preach it the most and are the worst. So
yeah,
do you think that we can all work do you think that there's going to be a time where we can all work together?
We can, if egos get put aside. I think if everybody stops thinking that they're the best, that only their opinion matters, we're all looking at the same, we're all looking for the same goal. We want to communicate with spirits, find out what's you know, going on in the afterlife. And if everybody would just remember that, you know, and it doesn't have to be a pissing contest.
Well, I think a lot of that has happened already. I mean, for instance, at the independent paranormal films, that was great. A lot of people came together. There's been a few places I've been, like the Fort MacArthur fundraiser last year. We had a bunch of groups together, and everybody worked together, teaching people paranormal and stuff. So it does happen, as long as there's not this specialized, I guess, like tier of people. Okay, these are gonna be the main special guests and this and that. If everybody's on the same level, saying, hey, everybody's here, meet and greet these groups, and I've seen that. You can call that, I guess, paranormal unity. If all these groups are together and teaching and having fun and laughing, and not, you know, well, we're first class passengers, you're second class passengers, you know, things like that, you know.
That's very true, and I think, you know, when people join my group, they say, is it okay to be in other people's groups? Well, yeah, we all teach differently. We're going to learn something different. When I started out, I was the member of probably 5 or 6 different groups. There are that many groups because there are that many different individuals. You know, we all, we have, you know, common interests, but we all approach it differently. Some are going to be better than others. And I took everything that I've learned from all the people around me and incorporated that into my style and my technique. And, you know, I mean, it works for us, but it may not work for the next person. Mm-hmm. And if everybody would just realize that, you know, yeah, we do have different opinions and different approaches, we don't need to get into a pissing contest.
Very cool.
So with that, I would like to say that actually Corey and I go way back. And I used to be an assistant to him many years ago.
Yes, I understand you and Corey are in one of the greatest paranormal documentaries to come around in the last 10 years. You're both in the same one.
I wonder who did that one.
Yeah, I don't know. Just something I heard. We are. We actually done a full hour already.
The hour always goes by so fast. Before we leave though, I really would like to know what you thought about your promo for the show.
Uh-oh.
I loved it. If you guys haven't seen it, you gotta go see it. It's great. Apparently I suck as a vampire slayer. I either missed or it didn't work out. That's okay. I don't encounter very many vampires, so that's alright.
We left your fate at the end a little mysterious. So either you're being saved or you're in a really heap of trouble whenever you get to your destination.
You know, it left it open for a sequel.
There you go. Next time we have you on, we'll continue from that thread.
That would be awesome. Yeah, I love the promo. Thank you. That was really cool. I got a really nice kick out of it.
Thank you.
So we want to thank everybody for coming on. Thank you, Corey, again, for all your great questions.
Thanks, Corey.
For Julie also. And hopefully we'll have you back on again, and maybe a couple more of your team members.
That'd be great.
All right, great.
Thank you for having me on.
It's great to see you, Peaches.
It.
All right, everybody.
Bye. Bye.
Goodbye.